Okay, hi Rebecca. We talked on the phone about clay and your little mask and the cracking problem, and so we're going to solve it. I'm going to try to do a real quick demo for you. We talked about not to put the clay down on a piece of paper or tag board or anything to where when it dries it would shrink and then pull against that and then crack up. So what I use is just rags. You can use any kind of little cotton rag you want to. Then I take a wire cutter, and you can make your own if you want to, just out of a wire. Cut through the clay, pull off a section. This is a little bit too much, so I'm going to pull off a nice big chunk and set that over to the side. That can be nose, eyes, lips. And then I'm going to mash this real quick into kind of a roundish shape. Okay? Squeeze, 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 and you can do this for the children if they're very young. And drop it on the cloth. Notice that when you mash it on this, you lift the cloth up, turn it over. You don't have it sticking even then, so it's fun to work with. Okay, let's just say this is our face. Still a little too thick, notice. But not much thinner than this, then we'll be all happy. So I'm going to use the palm of my hand to kind of do that. Well, if you're not satisfied with that shape, take your stick that you've created and cut out the shape that you want. Save all your little pieces. And I think this is a nice shape for a face. I'm going to put a little mark here where I want the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And I'm not pressing in very much because you want to keep that. I'm going to take this, roll it in my hand real quick into sort of a nose. Now most people use kind of a rag or water to make their clay glue or slip, but I just like the clay because it's nice and wet. And then I take my stick and seal off any air where the nose is touching the face. We don't want any air under there because air makes the clay shrink again at a different time than the rest of the clay. Notice I stopped the nose right there. I don't want to throw that away, so I think I'll just bring it down, mash it into my mask. If the edges get too thin, you can always take your stick again and create kind of an edge so that those edges are where you're going to crack. Things are going to crack up. Now, look here, here's a scrap. I'm going to take it in two pieces. Go like this, put it on there. Seal off the places where the air can get under there and make it dry. Okay, what do you have there? You have a mouth. Okay, let's just do a primitive, kind of African looking mouth. And you make it any shape you want to. It can be happy or sad. Here's a happy one. Kids like happy. Make a couple of balls. Rough up your clay a little bit. I always lick my finger and slam it down on there. There's a little cheek. Here we go. A little ball. Rough up your clay a little bit. Boom. Put it down on there, mash it. Oh, this is getting really clownish looking. You never know. You start something but it's asleep now because my marks for my eyes left it sleeping, but not necessary. Roll you a worm, and this is when you probably do need some clay slip. Not many children's parents are going to want them to lick this. I do it anyway. Let me go get some slip. I'll hurry. Music in the background. Hurry music, hurry music. Okay, here's a little wet sponge. I'm not much of a water advocate, but I'm going to go ahead and use that little wet sponge and make two little worms. What's bad about touching water is when you touch clay again, it's yucky. So I'll dry my hands a little bit. Dry hands work better on clay. Wet is just like making mud. Okay, here we go. Wet that little thing. I'm going to try to make another eye similar to that one. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Boom. Now I still want to take my stick, press down around there a little bit so that the eye is not going to pop off when it dries. Because clay, again, I'm going to repeat that, shrinks as it dries. Now, other tools can be used like pencils. All kinds of brushes can be used. The ends of a brush here can be used here. Look. And you use your thumb. Thumbs are great tools. And it's really fun for the brain because the brain gets to work both sides at the same time. Because boom, boom, we're using it symmetrically. Okay. Eyebrows, if you want them. There we go. Eyebrows, eyebrows. Eyeballs, if you want them. Just a little couple of balls. Here again, I'm going to touch this and not let come because I think it's grossing you out. It doesn't gross teenagers out or kids at school because they think it's so funny. Okay. And then they do it and they just think clay tastes delicious. Because it is. It's dirt. What if you want nose holes? Well, do them. What if you want decorations? Do them. But right now, that's the end of the demo. Watch this. Duh. And if you want to make it where you can hang it on a wall or put some more kind of hanging things, vines or things, go ahead and make holes in it. Nice and big though, because remember clay shrinks. Now, I like these little cake things that you can get at the grocery store. I put my cloth on this. Ba-doom, ba-doom. I think we're almost up to 3 or 4 minutes now. There we do. And when it dries, you can store these different places. And when it dries, it isn't going to stick to anything. This is going to give away just right. And you're going to have fun. And then you can color these after you fire them with watercolor stains. You can even use clear shoe polish and put it on there and then buff it. So many wonderful things. Okay, bye. Have fun.